Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to LEGO Space. Today we're doing an update, or another update on the bow of the Titanic. I do have it completed, and we're going to kind of do just a little overview of some of the changes that I made this time from the last time that I built it, and just kind of give you guys an overall view of it. So, um, right off the bat, I'm really happy with how it came out. I took some extra time to kind of refine some things that I had done on the first ship. Added more detail to the decks. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Definitely had to take my time a little bit more with my coloring this go around, just because you guys saw how crazy the coloring is all in this lower structure. Had to make sure I didn't build that up too high and have it visible, and then made a few changes when I was building up the deck areas and all that stuff. So but yeah, overall pretty happy with how it came out. Everything looks really nice. The deck floors came out super nice. Made sure everything was as clean as possible. No basically no exposed studs in any of the floors, and yes, I do have gloves on. I'm to the point where I don't want to get fingerprints and smudges all over it and have to clean all that off later, so I am building with gloves on. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how everything came out. Added a little bit more detail here and there. Like I said, we'll kind of go over some of that. But you guys can see on all the floors, all the coloring looks really good. There's no exposed studs. There's no crazy colors that are bleeding through from anything else. So all of that work took a lot of time just to make sure that I didn't have anything interfering with itself. And then of course making sure that in some areas it's a little hard to keep the windows completely dark or just a single color, but for the better part we got everything pretty good. Nothing too wild going on there. And I don't know if my camera will be able to focus, but probably not. On this go around when I built it, there's a through hallway through that dark spot inside the railing there, and you guys can kind of see through that a little bit. You guys can see my lights changing on the wall behind it, so I made that like a nice little look through. And then made sure all of this work behind here and behind that stuff, all that was colored properly, so that way we don't get a bunch of wild crazy colors showing through. Everything came out really nice. I made sure that everything around my anchors looked really good, especially down in there, pretty deep. All that's black. I showed that off in the last video. One thing I did different this time is I kind of actually raised up the anchors a little bit. I wish I could have got them a little bit more, but they are kind of difficult to hold up in there with just the chains. But I was able to retract some chain back down into there, get the anchors up a little bit higher so they're not sticking down quite so far. Color change on these big tie-offs. I decided to go, instead of fully gold, do a dark gray and gold top. A little bit more prototypical looking. We have some little rims, black rims used as the mechanical system for drawing in the anchors. I used, instead of the the 3 long post, I used a 4 long post for these railings here to kind of extend those railings out a little bit further. We added a few more tie-off points, all those black curved 1x2s on there, some tie-off points, and then some recoloring on the roof of the lookouts of the bridge, and then the actual control room itself. Got those gray, and just a few little things like that. You can go pretty crazy and spend days adding more detail, but then it gets to be a little busy. And as long as the ship is looking really good and represented nicely, that's kind of what I'm going for, with adding a few extra details here and there. I did decide to mount my cranes for the lifeboats straight with each other, so that way when you look at it from the side they look a little bit better. I know in the kit they want you to kind of set them at an angle, which is how I had originally done it, and I just felt like that looked a little bit nicer. And then it's not quite such a task to get those at the same diagonals. Well, the top stuff stayed pretty simple though. Just kind of worked on some of my coloring on some of this stuff, and in there saved my original key, so that's just slides in and out like that. And then just some black work there that's kind of helping to black out those porthole windows up top. And then worked a little bit on my coloring down here, made sure everything stayed light gray, and then used the dark gray as kind of the inner walls and accents some of the other details. But you guys can see the boiler area looks really good. Nothing crazy, no crazy colors bleeding through there. You get the nice view of the fires inside the boilers there with those clear 1x1 slopes. And yeah, that all looks really nice. And then, like I said, taking time in each room to make sure there's no exposed studs in any room, making sure things are colored nice on every floor. Just taking a lot of time on some of that stuff, making everything look really good and clean. And yeah, came out just a little bit better this time. It was pretty decent the first time around, but this time, you know, I'm wanting this to be the best it can. And then of course we have our wheels sticking out, and you guys can really get a feel for just how much those don't stick down too far. They're up there really high, and you guys can see I am using the original supports now. So yeah guys, the bow is done. I'm really happy with how it looks. Like I said, just added a few more little simple details and changes to just to enhance the overall look just a little bit more. Like I said, I'm not going to get too crazy with super detailing, but I do want to add a little bit more detail here and there just to really bring out the beauty of the ship overall. And so far we're on track. We're looking pretty good. Got the bow done. Bow looks really good. I'm really happy with everything on there. I don't feel like I want to change anything on it, and that's where I wanted to be. So and you guys can see how much of a mess a project like this creates. I have a bunch of open tubs everywhere, like everywhere. I have tubs with parts kind of sitting all over the place ready to pull from, so it does create a lot of mess. Before I start on the middle section of the Titanic, I am going to remove or clean up some of this mess, put away some of the stuff that I don't immediately need for the next steps, and go from there. So just a little update on the bow. Bow is done. Looks really good, really happy with it, and then we will be on to the next. So I'll start tearing down the center section, and then once I kind of get to some things that I want to show you guys on that, and talk about some stuff that I'm going to try to keep on that, I will do another update video. So hope you guys enjoyed the Titanic update, and until next time, take care.